Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're handling the new moon well, full moon, sorry. Okay. Today, I really want to talk about how to let go of like shame and embarrassment of your past and just keep moving forward. I'll start off with saying just like healing, admitting to yourself the parts that need to heal comes with a lot of like self-realization, self-reflection, and embarrassment of like maybe the things you talked about in the past, or feeling embarrassment of other people after you start to heal. Like you're starting to see your crowds, maybe the things they talk about are just, they're really low vibrational, and that's such a cheesy way of saying it, but just sitting around discussing other people, it's not comfortable anymore. Times are changing, and it's like, don't we have anything better to do? Can we like go for a walk and see what kind of mushrooms are out there? You know, stuff like that. Like that, you don't have to do that, but I noticed when I started my journey that I really started to spend a lot of time alone, but I craved people. I craved having friends, I craved connection still. It was that part of myself where it was like, oh, no one, I don't know what to do. Like I want to hang out with people, but I don't resonate anymore. I don't feel like I belong. This is the beginning of your your own personal journey, your own healing. Everyone hits it at some point. Excuse my voice. I'm getting over a head cold. And it's really confusing because all the things you believed in are changing. Your point of view is changing, and it's like, how did I agree so strongly with some of the stuff that I actually lived and live by? Now you realize you want to get rid of certain things, you just don't enjoy the same activities or people anymore, and it's not that they're the problem. No one is a problem. Nothing on the outside is a problem. It's you shifting realities. You're going to a different state of healing. You're going to a different journey. You're meant for something else. A separation, I always say this, it's elevation. You need to separate to discover yourself, and that's what's happening at this point. It feels awkward, and people might start to think like something's wrong with you. It sucks that people can't support isolation as like a time for someone just discovering themselves and healing. Instead, they take it personal and they think you're falling out of the friend group and turning your back on them, and you have to deal with other people's emotions as you go through this. The dark night of the soul is like, it's heavy. It's where you self-reflect, and that's where the shame starts to surface. And it's after a while of doing heavy shadow work that this starts to happen. And I just want to remind you, remove the shame. You were conditioned to feel a certain way by school, social media, friend groups who also experienced the same upbringing. We spend the first like 20-something years of our life building the ego to help us survive, to help us feel like we blend, and we don't know what we really like. We see all of these girls wearing the same Lulus, the same Uggs, the same, I don't know what they wear anymore. Like I know it was Lulus and crop tops when I was like in my mesh with the crowd phase. And that's what it is. Like we're essentially basically all kind of the same person because that's how the programming brought us up. And we're being told Abercrombie's huge and pink is cute and Uggs are in, the plastic with the fur lining, it's in, Fila's are in, you know? We're always told this, and our urge to fit in really wants that. And this leads to spiritual poverty. You're like depriving yourself of enjoying things that you actually enjoy. You feel like these are good, but you go spend the money and you're wearing the clothes and you have two-faced friends. Work still treats you like shit. You're still breaking out in acne from all the stress. Your diet's not good. You might have an eating disorder, nobody knows about it. It's true. trendy to eat certain things and do certain things, and you really just want to sit the fuck at home and eat a bag of potato chips and smoke a J or like 10, you know? But that's not in right now. And you're considered depressed, lazy, weird, unmotivated, sloppy when you hit this phase. This is you purging all of the programming, all of the hypocrisy. I can't say that word. Hypocrisy. Hippopotamusy. Okay? You guys, I have dyslexia. I've never been able to say that word. Never in my life. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to make a video about my invisible disabilities. But for now, let's continue this. You guys will understand me more when I explain everything. Okay, let's keep going. But you're seen as gross, lazy when you're taking the herb to heal, and your friends are like, that's not cute. Yeah, I don't mess with people who do drugs and have a horrible state of mind. You're not good for me, you're toxic. But really, you are not scared anymore. You might be a little bit scared going into this, but this big life change, it's happening for a reason. You're meant for something else. You're not meant to go blend and be ritzy at Cactus Club and wear those cute tight dresses all the time and wear 10 pounds of makeup. I'm not saying that you can't do it now. Like, I still crave getting real, like, dolled up and wearing makeup and doing my hair. I still crave that. I still want my nails done. I still want to go get my toes done, everything. But there comes a time where it's like, you realize this isn't the life. Going out every weekend for what? The same people, same scene, getting cheated on by the same boyfriends, secretly sleeping with someone else's boyfriend because he's showing you attention. There's so many people living in ego right now. There's so many people living in ego, and it's all insecurity with that survival mode. And when we start realizing, like, none of this is even real. I'm buying this shit, and it's putting me in depression. And if you are barely making it in the day and age, because a lot of people are trying to buy houses, and they're like nearly $1 million, bro. And jobs like 15 bucks an hour, 20 bucks an hour to have a diploma. I mean, like a master's degree, and you get like bottom of the barrel pay. Do you realize what society is doing to us? That's what's causing the dark night of the soul. That's what's making people go into their own businesses, becoming CEOs of their own thing and getting successful off of it, because these businesses that are being created by the people hitting dark night of the soul, it's usually has to do with healing, connecting to a person's truer self. Do you notice that these, excuse me, hold on a minute. Do you notice that these people going into business on their own and turning into life coaches, spiritual advisory, Reiki, they're kind of more successful than the people who are running a fucking Starbucks? You know what I mean? It's not to say that not everyone's successful when they go into corporate. Some people actually really excel because that's their path. Everything is meant to be as it is, and we cannot shame other people for being in that life. Some people are destined to be the corporate life. Some people are destined to go be with government. We all wrote our stories, and this is yours that I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about the dark night of the soul, where you feel like you don't fit in anymore, and it's not comfortable. It hurts. And you want to go back, you want to forget everything that you found out, all the secrets you know, everything. You want to forget about it, but you can't, because, bro, you dipped your feet in the pool, and it feels good. It's cold at first, it's deep, but once you jump in and embrace it, you develop gills, you know how to swim on the deep end. Okay? You just learn to float and go with it. Being able to feel energy, I used to hate this. I used to say to people, like, I hate this path. All of the people who I thought were my friends think I'm fucking weird now, super judgmental, but they still want my intuitive advice. It's really conflicting. This path is very ironic, all of it. The healing, that's why I want you to remove the shame in reflecting on your past and what you see now and what the future has. Because if you hold on to shame and people reflecting on you and reflecting on your situations and trying to stay attached to those people who keep you in this shameful energy, you're not going to be happy. You're not. And that's what causes a lot of suicide. This usually hits like mid-late 20s a lot. And you know, there are the select few who were born so aware and just stay connected from birth, and that was their path. Not one single person is the same. Every path is different. Some people feel like spiritual advisors, like they have God communicating messages. That's their path and there's no reason to judge. Some people talk shit and help people wake up. That's their path. Some people sit on YouTube and game all day and bond with those who bond with other, you know, their life is game, and that's okay. Everyone has their niche and everyone has their own crowd, you know what I mean? And just to be able to let go and do your own thing, it's fine. I see way too many people going onto paths that they're not so sure about, and then they see other people doing it too and they get mad. Like, I'm really battling right now that the stuff I personally talk about with my friends, I'm getting really frustrated that they don't necessarily agree with me, but they're preaching it. And some of them aren't even my friends anymore. I got upset and I started to snap back a little bit. I'm like, that's pretty ego-based for you to talk like that. Not friends, blocked instantly. Even my own cousin, she gained like 15,000 followers after I connected with her, and she started to turn spiritual, or she started to turn spirit-based and did tarot and stuff. It's like, that was meant to happen. And I have to look at it this way. I'm sharing this with you because at first it's going to be annoying when you go in and all these people, they're projecting on you, getting angry at you, but then they dabble in that path. Just to look at this as, you know what, that was meant to happen for a reason. And because of the ego, because they felt shame in that doing, they pulled away from me, they blocked me. We need to have, like, in this journey, it's really hard to shift your perspectives, but always look at it as, who knows where that person would have went? Who knows? Maybe this is her path. Maybe it's something else. Because they're, like, people jump around to things, you know? For me, I thought I was going to write a book. I still plan to, but... Oh, sorry, looking at a message here. For me, I always thought, like, I was going to write a book. I am going to, but right now I see that this is my focus. I just like to, like, talk about my experiences and what's on my mind, because when I talk about it too personal with other people, I see them building businesses off of it, and I'm like, how come I'm not doing this? How come I'm not sharing it on videos? How come I'm not having talks with people about this on YouTube? I see them doing it. I see them going on Instagram and posting stuff. So yeah, you end up finding your path. All of that had to happen. Seeing everyone build success off of the conversations we were having. I'm not saying I was God and I gave them that path. Heck no. Someone led them to me to have that conversation, to make it click, and to help them become their own business owner, you know? And that's actually amazing. After healing my resentment for not doing the work, or them not doing the work, but taking everything that I've, like, every personal little conversation turned into a business idea for them. I had to heal from that. I had to let it go. And, you know, holding on, that's something else I want to talk about too, is when you hold on to the resentment of other people not taking you serious and then turning their backs on you, because this is going to happen a lot. People are not going to take you serious on this path, but the things you are saying, look at it this way. You're planting seeds and you're helping them feel their truest self. Can you see that? Like, it took me a long time to get there. Can you see that? Like, that's amazing. And in a way, I guess what I'm saying is this helping us just shed layers of the ego. And with the ego, it's not necessarily like, death to ego, you're evil, you ruined my life. Actually, ego kept you alive and kept you safe. Ego got you here, bro. Like, how did you even survive without it? What if you didn't have any will? What if you didn't have any drive? What if you actually, like, just gave up? You wouldn't be here in this state having these revelations and helping other people find their true self, their higher self. They wouldn't have that connection. You need to start looking at it in a different way, okay? This is not depression. This is not embarrassment of the past. This is not shame of reflecting on your choices and the things you used to do. This is like, I think I made my own life modules, and now I get to look back at them and say, what did I learn from that? What did I get from that? And it's pretty cool when you decide to switch and use those lessons as a way to heal. Something that I just commented, what was it? The deeper the wounds, the better the lessons. Yes, the deeper the wounds, the better the lessons. The harder the fall. I can't remember. The harder the fall. I wish I would have texted to myself because I actually really liked that quote. It made me realize, okay, I'm not ashamed of how fucking deep and dark my life path was. I'm not ashamed anymore, because I used to like think I was so disgusting and be embarrassed and think back like I can't show my face anywhere. If I didn't have those lessons, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you guys or anything. And something I'm trying to heal too after getting into this path is talking. Because talking to me is like, how come you don't just trust? How come you always have to discuss and look for guidance? And how come you always have to decipher? And these people, instead of being resentful about always needing to talk and people coming to you and then leaving with ideas, look at it as, okay, you know what? The more that people heal, the more that people spread this awareness, it's pretty gorgeous. I had this mind frame before, but I just don't like carbon copies. I don't. I think people do it for profit, and they hurt themselves by doing this because they end up with these lessons and they're not ready. And some of them end up like hurting themselves because they're talking about things that they didn't experience. They see the wisdom in it. They see the lessons in it. They see the strength in it. They see that someone had a download and they want that download. They want that to happen for them. But especially if you're still operating from, they're not connected. She is a shitty person when she's not on the computer. When you're still operating from that, I don't think you should really be trying to lead people, you know? Like, it's not for me to say, but that's where my ego was coming from. If they didn't have that lesson and they're just taking the words that I've given them, what right do they have? Who knows, right? There was a reason for that. My friend actually, so it shall be, she's really reminding me, like, who knows? They'll get taught a lesson each time they do this. And it's like, yeah, Spirit definitely sent her to me to help me chill out about this, because frig, I just can't stand people who speak in a profit condescending sense, you know, without knowing the consequences, because you manifest everything you talk about. And for me, I'm thinking, they're not ready, I can feel it. But obviously, if they resonate with it and they feel like they're close to that, they do, right? Like, sorry, this video is kind of rambling. You guys know me. Every video I'm gonna make from now on is intuitive talks, unless it's things like ringing in the ear or stuff like that, or trauma. So, okay, so I wrote, how do we let go of shame? Just remember that at one point you were there. At one point you were judging people. How do you feel about judging people now? Where did you, what area did you judge from? Was it because it made you uncomfortable to see someone, like, did it make you uncomfortable to see someone be vulnerable? And now you're being vulnerable? In a way, we manifest everything. Like, the things we make fun of, the things we judge, we end up with. Like, one situation I'm gonna tell you, when I was in an abusive relationship when I was a teenager, everyone made fun of me because I would get so drunk whenever I went out in public. people didn't, I don't know if people knew my boyfriend at the time abused me. He would smash my head in. He would punch me until I was unconscious. My face, this half of my face is distorted because of it. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know. But I had 4 concussions in that relationship, and I would have to like wrap myself around my son because I'd be in the corner and he'd be hitting me in the back of the head, kicking me, biting me, to the point where he was breaking skin on my back. He broke my wrist. Nobody knew this was going on, and all of these girls made fun of me. They gossiped about me when I went out in public and drank because he wouldn't let me go anywhere. So I drank all the liquor, and it was just a coping mechanism that wasn't the healthiest. It was a cry for help, right? No one really knew what was going on, and I didn't know how to tell people because he tried to kill me 3 separate times for even going to the hospital. As soon as he got me alone, he would take me in the middle of the road in winter, take my clothes off and leave me there for half an hour. He'd come back and ask if I learned my lesson. And to save my ass, I knew just to shut up. No one knew this was happening. And now the girls that made fun of me, they all have narcissistic ex-boyfriends. They all have boyfriends that are fucking with their mental health in their lives. And I'm not saying this as, I'm saying this as, God, please keep them safe and don't let them hit them the way I was hit. Like, please don't. I know what you're doing, and please keep them safe, please. Like, that was scary. I almost died on more than a handful of occasions, okay? So don't ever hold resentment for people trying to shame you. Don't ever hold embarrassment because people are shaming you. Just know that when you stay kind, resilient, and patient, not towards them, towards yourself, when you forgive them and say, they don't understand. They don't know what's happening. Even with your dark night of the soul and separation right now, they don't understand what I'm feeling right now. They can't see it. It's okay. It's not their time. And eventually it'll be their time. It's 10 years later, 7 years later, but it was their time. This is something that is a very sensitive topic for me because I really do like these people. I've never hated them. I always felt confused because it's like they don't even know what's happening. And I was confused at the time because I didn't understand what the abuse was doing to me. I thought I could still operate and be normal, but I was riddled with abuse, like right to the brim. I shook everywhere I go. I was scared to trust. I was scared to feel pretty. I was scared to talk to people. I was scared to have anyone come over to my house because he would sit outside my house. He would drive by. He would drive around town looking for my car. You know? Like that, everyone manifests their lessons. When people are ridiculing you, shaming you, just know that they don't understand. They can't. That's how you get rid of shame. That's how you get rid of embarrassment. And have mercy. You don't need to talk to them to forgive them. You just need to say, Lord, I forgive them, and I hope that you're kind to them when their journey begins. Because mine began early. Early. I was a little girl. Since I was like 3, the sexual abuse started from everyone. Not my parents or anything, but from everyone else, you know? My journey started early. And that's why I live fearlessly now. That's why I don't give a fuck. I still wouldn't learn my lessons though with my dark night of the soul situation. Like I was handed my most recent ex with a major problem with accountability and self-awareness, but a huge self-importance and wanting to be magical, right? I manifested him because I didn't stand up for myself. I continued to let people make me feel embarrassed of my pain. And I didn't see that I needed help. He was given to me to see that I needed help. It's unfortunate that my kids aren't with me right now, and I know that God's bringing them back because I've stayed quiet. In the situation, I've only started speaking up recently. But don't let anyone fearmonger you. Don't let anyone embarrass you. Your situation is for you, not them. They can't have compassion for you, fuck them. They have their own journey coming up. They have a rude awakening. And I know people are going to resonate with this, and people are going to have a seed planted. Like, I did make fun of someone for being in my situation before. That's true. Everything is given to us because we asked for it, right? Be mindful when you're making fun of someone. Be mindful when you're laughing at someone, because you could lose that $100,000 job and end up losing everything, going in debt. Did you ever have that happen before? Did COVID do something? We all need to start looking at our situations with an open mind and reflection, instead of resentment that it's happening to us. It's given to us because we're doing it. We've lived it, or else in a past life it's some kind of deep, deep, deep wound, you know? Let people talk their shit. Let people learn their lessons. It's not for you to carry on and hold on to their anger, their resentment, for you being in pain. Okay? This is your time to heal. I want you to embrace it. I want you to be fearless, and I want you to know that God sees everything. God is collective. God is Allah. God is whoever. God is creator, grandfathers, angels, spirits, whoever. Okay? I'm not preaching from the Bible. I'm not throwing it in your face. I'm not going like this to everyone. I'm telling you to be fearless. I'm telling you to believe in yourself. Stop feeling ashamed for the sexual abuse if it was like, you know, that bad as a child. Yeah. I didn't expect this video to go this far. But this is all ironic. Look at life as modules. Irony. Self-reflection. Compassion. Deep compassion, bro. You gotta just remember, everyone cannot understand your situation, and if they have no mercy about your situation, they're gonna eventually end up in something similar. I hope this helped you. If you want to discuss anything, feel free to comment. If you're going through this, I have all my contact links in my description box. I'm down to talk about anything, man. I've got an open mind and an open heart and an open inbox. Bye.